say, we are Thursday. We're going to delve into some discussions all around nature and the built environment. So I hope you had a great week. I hope that you are already thinking ahead for the weekend coming up, and you're already planning to maybe get out into some nature wherever you are. So maybe we can hear from you now. Where are you? We're in this virtual room, but maybe you can pop down in the chat box where in the world you are joining us from. So let's see who is in this virtual room today. We ourselves, we are in Brussels. It started out kind of sunny this morning. It's gone a bit grey and miserable. It looks a bit like it's rain, but I have high hopes for the weekend. So let's see, where are you all joining us from today? Sunny south of Sweden, excellent. This is what we like to hear. People have sunshine. Good. Okay, we've got Budapest, fantastic. Welcome, hello. Barcelona from Portugal, very nice. Lund, very nice. Back in the UK, all right, we're going right over to the UK. Fantastic. Welcome. Hello from Copenhagen, hello. And Gothenburg, brilliant. We've got a few from Sweden today. Great. Brighton, hello. Sunny Brighton, excellent. Good to hear. All right, fantastic. We've got Helsinki as well with us today. Fantastic. All right, it's great to hear a bit where you're all joining from. I'm glad some of you have some sunshine. It's very nice to hear. All right, so we're going to kick off in a second, but I'd like to ask you just another question about nature in the built environment. So for you, for your cities, what would you say is a low-hanging fruit when it comes to thinking about greening your city, for integrating nature into your city? What would be the easiest action you as a city could take, or indeed that you would recommend to another city? So what easiest action, what's the most simple thing that you can do as a city to green the built environment? Go ahead and pop that down in the chat box. Let's see a bit from the cities across Europe what you think about greening the built environment. Eugenia, I will call on you here. What do you think about when we talk about integrating nature in the built environment?
Thank you, Heather, for the question. So my name is Eugenia Mansuti. I work with Heather in the Covenant of Mayor's office. And while you think about this topic and you share with us some reflections in the chat, well, from our point of view, let's say from the point of view of the Covenant of Mayor's office, so less on the ground, more from the let's say the bigger picture. The reason why we are also organizing this webinar is that we think that's a very relevant topic about how we can integrate nature in the built environment, especially at this time to discuss with Covenant signatories. When we look at the new policy context, for example. So we know that with the European Green Deal, there is this holistic approach being put on the table by the European Commission that will also be then translated in the actions of Covenant cities. I hear an echo. I don't know if somebody has the microphone. And okay, super. Yeah, and so yes, maybe two things to highlight is that, for example, in the new strategy of the Commission for the Renovation Wave, there is a focus on the fact that the construction ecosystem should be also based on circular solutions and integrate nature-based solutions. And there is a discussion and a very strong focus in the new EU adaptation strategy on promoting nature-based solutions for adaptation. That means actually in an urban context that these solutions should be integrated in a dense urban environment. And I think especially for those cities that are working jointly on their mitigation and adaptation strategies, integrating nature-based solutions in the built environment is a way to achieve both mitigation and adaptation targets in an integrated way. And what would come to my mind, but maybe you have different ideas, of course, would be, for example, building roofs, building green facades that can both mitigate the urban heat island effect, increase, for example, rainwater absorption, and also improve thermal insulation for individual buildings. And then there is a question also of making space for nature in the cities. And I know that that's one of the topics that will be addressed in this webinar today. And maybe, yeah, just before giving the ball back to Heather, I don't know if you also, the agenda we share with you, we also included some resources and useful documents to look at. And one of those was analysis of EU projects prepared by the European Commission. I can add the link in the chat down. There was one on nature-based solutions for climate mitigation that really looks at how these EU funded projects have provided evidence on how nature-based solutions contribute to climate mitigation, for example. And I think there can be some inspiration also to be found there.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, brilliant. Thanks, Eugenia. It'd be great, yeah, to add those in the chat box again. But as you say, they were in the agenda that was sent around earlier on. I see there's some really good thoughts coming through here, and estimating the cost of doing nothing. So again, the case that Eugenia was talking about here, this report on evaluating nature-based solutions. So fantastic, great to hear some of your thoughts coming through in the chat box there. We have two fantastic examples today about integrating nature in the built environment. They really draw on different opportunities and means for doing this. You know, as we've heard from Eugenia, there are different ways of doing this, different thoughts, about how we can do this. So without further ado, let's hear a bit from Barcelona, from their climate shelter project. Okay, and this is in which the city is adapting schoolyards with blue, green, and grey solutions. So I welcome Architect and Director of Educational Equipment, Anthony. Hi, Anthony, how are you?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'll hand over to you, Anthony. Tell us all about the schoolyard project.
Okay, thank you, Ida. Good afternoon, I'm Anthony Garcia from Barcelona Educational Consortium, and I will explain you a little bit about Barcelona program. I have organized the presentation in 8 points for better understanding. That this is the complex document. It is quite long. You can look at it later, and now focus on the solution that we have arrived that they are applying in the schools. Okay. That is the 8th point. The first is a background. Clima is the climatic plan of Barcelona City Council. This is the global mark of our work. In that plan is talked about the prevent heat, and it's talked about of the climatic shelters, and to ensure territorial cover to 2030. There is definitions of shelter spaces, the climatic shelter spaces, what facilities can be are climatic shelter, and in this context, born on our project, name it Adapting Schools Through Green, Blue, and Gray. The proposal solutions involve transformation of the schools in open climatic shelters. The pilot project was in 11 of cities school. Why schools? Because it has great impact on the vulnerable population, and because the distribution of the schools throughout the city have a maximum outreach into communities. The proposed solution is a package of measures to adapt the schools to climatic change along 3 qualitative lines. The green line are solutions or elements related with the nature, blue with the water, and gray with the architecture, with the buildings. The school selection criteria, first of all, we made open call for all the public primary schools of the city to participate. 45 applied for the call. After we select the finalists, valuing next aspects about climate, urban environment, climatic vulnerable, percent green coverage, about buildings, different aspects of the building, about playgrounds, area, dimensions, sun, water points, and others, school details, districts of the city, of the 10 districts of Barcelona, 1 school for district, year of the construction of the school, shares uses and adjacent playgrounds, complexity index of vulnerable people, and be part, that is interesting, of other related programs like more sustainable schools, open playgrounds, and municipality programs. And after the evaluation, 10 schools we are chosen and 1 more as a partner, 11 schools. This is another point important, is the relation of the project partners, Barcelona City Council and municipal entities, area of urban ecology, more related with the green, area of social rights of vulnerable people, public health agency of Barcelona, with the health and the water cycle, outer line, blue line of the water, and Barcelona Energy Agency. This is all the entities with Barcelona Education Consortium and East Global for Research and UAB working together for develop this project. It's more important work, coordinate with the different partners. Prior diagnosis, I speak quickly. It's important to have an information, physical and technical information about before the participate process, for have all the community the real information before study the new proposals to go in the correct direction in the needs and proposals. Visit to the schools to confirm that initial diagnosis is very important, and identification of the indicators for comparative objects of the school by school diagnostics. And then we have this file you see weekly also in the top the 11 schools, and the left column the characteristics, physical and technical characteristics, the volume, the typology, surface, playgrounds. And then with this information, we have the first analysis and the first results about the size ratio study of the playground, percent of vegetation in the playground available for covering in the playground, and percentage of the permeable ground. You can see the average, and you can see the position respect to the average each school. That is a first approximation to discover what is the correct line to make the proposals. Participatory process is important. Co-creation method is came. We involve all the education community in the project, help define the measures, assess the impact of the measures with all of the education community during 2 academic years, and in 4 participatory sections. That is each group, teacher, pupil, families, before the second session. Each school have a way to explain the proposals with panels, with pupils' explanations, with maps, with murals, and this is the resume of the improvement most prioritized by schools. Solutions like natural cross ventilation, new vegetation, new pavement, fountains, and mixed solution. This is the result of the participatory process. The pedagogy process is in parallel, more quickly, method SHEN, teacher training, climate change resource, scientific measures, pedagogical support, with the primary 5 academic years pupils and all of the education community, in 3 continuous training and support seminars during 2 years, academic years. This is information provided for complete training. And then it's a catalog of the solution elements. In parallel of the rest of the works, we work about the catalog. The first classification was with 20 elements and solution families, 40 about elements, and 6 solution mixes solutions. In respect the green, blue, and gray lines, strategic lines, and talking about the building, the playground, and the fence. Different strategies. Green nature were in playground and gardens, in roof, facades, and party walls. You can see type with trees, with lamps and nature vegetation, with gardens. With the blue, with water, analyze and propose some new water points, drinking water fountains, multifunction fountains, leisure elements, fountains, sprinkles, symbolic games elements like this, some flow water, naturalized pond, vegetable garden ponds, and tanks, rainwater collection to be a provide of the water of the rain. And the line gray, line of architecture, buildings, the more important strategy about about energy production, like photovoltaic panels, is an important line of Barcelona City Council and Consortium, thermal solar panel, and mini wind turbine. Improve insulation in roof and facades, more important also, is improve insulation of the thermal bridge in the windows of doors, solar shading, curtains, blinds, brisoles, porch, awnings, pergolas, and cool roofs, also important. And then we can conform the catalog with the lines now better. With the 3 aspects important, like the playground elements for shade in the playground, treatment of surface, line gray, you know, elements of vegetation in the playground, line green, water fountains, flowing water, system to take advantage of the rain, lines to work of the surroundings, treatment of the fence of the surface, elements of vegetation, classificating the 3 lines, green and gray, and work on the building, the architecture, elements for shade on the building without vegetation, natural cross ventilation, very important in the schools, in the building schools, forced ventilation, improving the building envelope to increase and reduce heating, elements for shade of the building with vegetation, elements of vegetation of the building. This here near close the detail of the element. That's a families of solution. Natural cross ventilation. That is the same on the other slide to improve the isolation, and mixed solution, shade and vegetation, depend of the proposal of each school. Shade without vegetation, water, vegetation, shade, vegetation, water. And then this is the document of the catalog. Is the actual version. With this version, we made a project. We drive in the project of the climate refuges. We working now in another new version, more quickly and more information and best pictures, that this is the very complete document to work and to make the participate process. Look this family of element, water fund multifunction, that the description, benefits, limitation, application criteria, recommendation, budget, and different models of this family, different elements of this family. That is the proposal of action school by school with this catalog of solutions. That is the map of Barcelona, of the 10 districts and the 11 schools. The first school, the Cervantes School, main actions, that is the proposal of the community with the techniques. And this, well, look the space, look the courtyard, a little courtyard, urban courtyard, and the final result with elements like clumps, like gardener, little environment multifunction with multifunction fontaine, facades with vegetation, pergola. This is the Jorers School. The same are very urban schools that signify the courtyard is very little, very pavimented surface. The main actions, reduction of the sport course, to win unpaved pavement. That is the Jorers School final result, like facades with climb plants, multifunction fountains, flow water elements, pergolas, and little gardens, and very improve the vegetation. Ramon Casas is the same.
Anthony, just to say, you've got 2 minutes left.
Okay, okay. This is the final resume. Always is the same. Is the same elements combined different or mixed solutions, but I think is the very nice spaces of shelter. Poeta Voice School like this. Another solution, claim plants is very important. Renaturalize the playgrounds, the courtyards, because in the city the yards are very hard, and the new pedagogical project call us the naturalize these spaces in the middle of the city with the pollution, with noise of the cars. That really little oasis in the middle of the city. That's another is very nice solutions, but that always are the same families. Protection of the land, little gardens, space and the scale of the pupils, and more naturalized spaces in the city, with water, with protections of the sun, the radiation, with many water points for drink or for wash, for hot season. You can see the Villa Olímpica, that's the partner, and with special elements in all the elements in the catalog of the solution. Look like the multifunction water fountain. That is the presentation, the little presentation, the document complete they have in the header if you want to consult that completely.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Anthony. There's a wealth of information in that document, and Eugenia has just shared the link to the website. And of course, the links there in the presentation. We shared the WeTransfer link at the top, so you can download that, and we'll share that along with the recording after this meeting today. So thank you so much, Anthony. Just a couple of questions, first of all. So my understanding is that these climate shelters, it's really fantastic to see before and after, that visual impact of seeing the grey concrete floor beforehand, and then afterwards the vegetation. These are really great images, and I think that brings home the changes that have been made. My understanding is that these courtyards are open to the public. And I think this is one of the key questions or concerns that maybe other cities would have. Has Barcelona had any challenges in allowing public access to these schoolyards?
Anthony, I think you are muted.
Yes, it is. Now we are in COVID time. We made the work of the yards in last summer, but we until we now open the gardens outside of the lecture of the school hours. ¿Cómo es prohibido? But,
it's prohibited.
Yes, prohibited. Yeah. We think can open these yards the next summer.
Okay.
But the question is important because the new management of the playground means more responsibility in both maintenance and cleaning, because now we have higher quality and more delicate elements, but we also involve more schools in this use. We want the schools make the maintenance of more of the new elements. We try in each school. Now we are waiting for evaluation conclusion to act, confirm the solution, or improve same of them into the catalog also. And the other thing is the management of the access to the public access. We need to control the yards outside of school hours. We have experience and another program, open playgrounds of elective hours here in Barcelona also. And we have the municipality figure of monitor of the space person to see what happened in this time slot in the yard.
Okay.
That is the two things I think are changing respect the before management.
Yeah, okay, so really to monitor how exactly it will be used outside of school time by the public. It'll be interesting to see outside of COVID time if there are any challenges that come up. Yeah, okay, a challenge to come maybe. Would you have any advice to give to other cities that would like to replicate this project?
Yes. I think is the recommendation are the prioritized schools in heat vulnerable areas in your city. This one involve whole school community, very important. The project was a product of the work of the collectivity, the community, the whole community. Start with a pilot project with a controlled project to analyze and evaluation after. Create a good department to coordination team. It's very important. Have the very good professionals in the different aspects, the green to the blue and the gray. It's very important. A strict control of all of the process and the calendar, especially to complete the works, because the work in the schools principally is summer. We have 2 months only to transform the yard. Incorporate passive cooling for school buildings. Favor low-tech, local and natural materials. Guarantee maintenance with more responsibility after. And involve the schools in the maintenance. I think that is the 10 ideas to make great the project of climate change. It's important in the cities. Don't introduce the green in all of the public spaces and more private spaces also.
Absolutely, to have this participative approach that might help as well with some of the concerns around public access to schoolyards, making it a community project and bringing everyone in together. Could help allay those fears maybe with public access to schoolyards. All right, one last question from me. What are the next steps for Barcelona with this project? I think you're planning on upscaling it.
Yes, the climatic refuge is the adapting school is the pilot of the new program with the city council. Each year we transformed 12 schools, 12 yards. This is the program, the systematic program. Mm-hmm. And now the transformation is more global, not only with the climatic solutions, yes, but another lines of work like environmental, like refugees climatics, all yard to be a refuge, a climatic refuge, always. Community line, we will design the yards thinking about the use of all of the community. That is an important decision, to the material, to the elements, to the access, and also to improve to be profit the transformation, to improve the pedagogical project of the school. In this sense, we have this this program is the annual transformation of 12 core yards program and 6 strategic criteria: learning spaces, multi-environments, contact with nature, comfort and nice, co-education, multi-space, and community use, and the different looks, like and different points of view, like look the approximation to the yard from the neighborhood, from the school, and from the immediate perimeter of the school, the security, the rest areas, etc.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. All right. Thank you so much, Anthony. There's a lot of information and a lot to be gained from this this example. Really, there's the information can be found in these links here. In that UIA link that Eugenia shared before, I believe there's a journal input describing kind of the experience with COVID and with this pilot project, and also describing the next steps as well, as Anthony's just said, in terms of how this will be upscaled and moved forward. So check out those links for some more information and yeah, some journal inputs on that. Thank you so much, Anthony. There are a few questions in the chat box. I'll leave you to respond to those directly, if that's okay.
Okay.
And I'd say thank you very much for your presentation. Really fantastic.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. All right. Okay. Right. We'll be moving now north to head to Malmö to hear about another project taking a really quite a different approach to greenly integrating nature in the built environment. So here we're looking at a project that's matching private building owners with the producers and the suppliers of nature-based solutions. So I'd like to welcome environmental strategist and project leader, Juliette. Juliette, hello.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Very well, yes. How are you doing?
Perfect, perfect. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting us. We're really excited to present the project and especially to have the possibility to work with you in this workshop. So thanks very much.
Fantastic. All right. Well, I will leave you to get on with your presentation, and afterwards, for everyone else, you will have seen in the agenda, we'll be looking to work together to look at how this project can then be upscaled afterwards. So we'll have a collaborative brainstorm on a whiteboard afterwards. I'll leave it to you, Juliette, now.
Okay. Thank you so much, Heather. Yeah, my name is Julia. I work for the city of Malmö, as Heather said, at the environmental department. And we're here to talk about this project we call Blue Green City Lab. It's a 5-year project, and it's a test bed for blue-green solutions in urban environments. This is our final year. It's financed partly by Vinnova, which is a Swedish innovation agency. And one could say the main purpose is to increase the usage of and encourage to the development of new blue and green solutions. And everything doesn't have to be new or an innovation, but it has to work. So these are our partners. We are 6 in this partner group, and we have the Swedish Swedish Agriculture University. They do evaluation and measurements. We have IVL, which is the Swedish Environmental Institute, also doing evaluation and measurements. We have MKB, which is the local housing company, who they're one of the need owners and also offer WAS surfaces. We have Sustainable Business Hub, which is a non-profit organization, and they are working on developing a business model, because within the scope of the project, it is to be like a self-sufficient organization once the project ends. So from 2022, this should be organized in a way that they can, it can fly on its own. So that's really super interesting modeling going on there. And they also do matchmaking and are in charge of the communication. So we have a web page and our LinkedIn and stuff like that. And then we have Scandinavian Green Roof Institute. That's where Tanya, who will be telling you a bit about 2 of our cases, that's where she works. And they provide counseling and education and also do matchmaking. And then there's us, the city. So we project do the management and the coordination. So what are we trying to accomplish? We're trying to like bridge the gap between the needs owners and the suppliers or the producers. And so what's in it for the needs owners? They get like qualified products, they get counseling, tailor-made training, and matchmaking, and they also get like increased knowledge throughout the whole journey or the process. And for the suppliers, they get, first of all, access to the needs owners through urban development processes and are different, like the partnerships network. But they also get measurement and independent evaluation. And if their product does what it's aimed to do, they also get a qualification that they've gone through this measurement and evaluation process. So they also get the opportunity to product development, marketing, and lots of contacts. And what we also can help them with is seek external funding, also to lower the threshold for needs owners to actually invest in a product or solutions that aren't maybe on the market yet and not that well known. So that is the model of the project. And now Tanya will tell you a bit more about two of the cases. So over to you, Tanya.
Yes. Hello, good afternoon. So I'll just dive right straight in so you get a more clear picture of what we're doing practically or on an everyday basis. So in the case you see here, we've got green walls. So what happened is that we had the needs owners that had a vision of greening their buildings with green walls, and then would like to find out or find suitable systems or a suitable system for trial, basically. So they want to evaluate the system and from different aspects, and then hopefully get to a point where we've learned about the system, found the right ways to do it, good quality in each part, and then this would be a system that they would dare to like put up on buildings to come when they're building more. So they contacted us in the Blue-Green City Lab basically for help. So this, like Juliette said, we could help them find external funding so that they could dare to put up these big green walls. So we've got divided on two buildings. It's about approximately 600 square meters of green walls instead of just one wee compartment or one small wall for trial, but we did it full scale, and they're up and running since 2019. And then the Blue-Green City Lab is providing, or we're measuring and evaluating these green walls. So that's one type of case. If we move on, we've got the next case. Here instead, we've got a supplier that reaches out to us and with a desire to have their product, basically one of the product components, evaluated independently then, because often the suppliers have their own ways of testing their different components. But here we get, or the Blue-Green City Lab, we then can give them an independent evaluation of this. So they came to us for that, and we, through the counseling and discussions, we agreed on one kind of evaluation of this product. But then we took it one step further. And here it's very interesting because we've got the supplier that wants us to evaluate their product. But in discussions and in the consortium or the different actors or organizations in the Blue-Green City Lab, the discussions led to us, of course, then giving them information about the needs owners, what the need, what the municipalities want to see, what we need regarding climate change, urbanization, densification, what are the real needs. And of course, that is super valuable information for the suppliers. So it ended up that we have now got two cases with the same supplier. So one is evaluating their product that they came to us for initially, and the other one is then actually like product, what do you call it?
Development.
Thank you. Developing new products and innovation of products to meet the needs, basically. Yes. We move on. And then this is also just an example to show the width of what we're doing, is how we work broadly with the aim to spread knowledge about the blue-green solution. So that's a big part of the project, to spread knowledge. So to provide the first overview of different types of blue-green solutions available on the market, we produced a brochure showing, in this case, 9 different principles of blue-green solutions. So as you see here, there's some different green roofs, green walls, rain gardens, different types of build-ups for tree planting in cities and such. So we did that, and these and also to show the benefits, that there is a range of systems and also the benefits. So this brochure is automatically actually sent out to everyone that applies for a building permit in Malmö municipality, just to give them a wee push, like just so you know this is a range of systems there are. But this is also a brochure that we can use in every contact and dialogue with needs owners or housing companies and such.
Great. Yep. And then we also want to just present something we've been working on as well. It's what we call a blue-green map jam. So we've conducted a number of workshops, both internally with the people working within the municipality and external actors, to actually see what has been done already. So we now have a layer in the map structure, the municipal map structure, called blue-green tests. And one can discuss what a test is at length, but here we have it in the broadest sense. So every dot here represents some sort of test or trial. And then if you zoom in on one of the dots, you come to this closer view, and there you get the keywords. It could be green roof, or it could be water quality. And you also see the color code, if it's an ongoing test, if it's a finalized test, if it's a planned one, or areas or tests that ought to be done. And then you can go further into this. The more layers you go, there are a few more layers, you get more and more specific information. And there are also links to reports or films or pictures. And this is like the foundation also for us when we do tests, to see what's been done before, so we don't have to invent the wheel again and again, and to see what worked in those cases. So this is a very good knowledge bank for us to work from. Yep, that was our brief introduction. So thank you very much.
Fantastic, thank you. All right, brilliant. Again, a lot of information there, but a really fantastic example of how you're matching up private building owners and the suppliers next to the solutions. There are a couple of questions I can see already in the chat box. Maybe I can just start with one though. You've mentioned taking measurements. Maybe you can give us some information about what these measurements are. Measurements for like green walls, for example.
Shall I?
Yeah, go for it.
In this case, in the green walls, we have its fresh water, or use of fresh water, because we want to minimize that. We want to try to see how much water do these walls actually need to function, so that we then could lead water from rooftops and build tanks in the right size, so that we can recirculate and reuse rainwater, basically. So that's one of them. It's also then like moist in the substrates, temperature outside the green walls, just close by. So how does the green walls affect the temperature in the nearby environment. And there's also biodiversity, of course. There's also we've also planned loads of small like homes for insects and birds and stuff in the wall. And then overall aesthetical assessment for also, and then also trying to incorporate the people walking by, and this, you know, the green walls are something in the city, and we have learned that well, it varies. I mean, it's a living material, so during winter it's not as nice as during summer, even though we've got plant material that will be nice, but just the information to the public, so they know, why do we do this, what is it good for, and they get much more understanding and appreciate it in another way, basically.
Yeah, fantastic. How do you share that information? Is that on a plaque next to the green wall, for example? Or is that just through
Juliet?
Yes. Well, we are working on having QR codes, so you can, on those walls, and as well, there's some information on the website. That's how we share it now. Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic, fantastic. I can see another question. Did you also observe an increase in nature, so specific species? So you're talking about biodiversity. You've taken some measurements for biodiversity. Have you, have you seen an increase in biodiversity or nature in general?
We haven't yet. We don't have so many results. The two parts that do the evaluation, the SLU, the Agricultural University, and the other institute, it's ongoing. So after this, now this is our first really total good growing season this year. So that we will, so they are monitoring it. There's photos taking, filming, also in these insect different hotels and stuff, and plant material, of course. So we hope to come out with a report after the year saying well, we need to do that also for us and for the ones that ordered this from us to learn about what is good and what is not good.
Yeah, fantastic. These measurements in this report, you said before it's used for suppliers. So first of all, to help match up the needs to the suppliers. Will this also be used somehow to influence policy making, decision making within the city?
Yeah, I mean, everything that works, and if we can show that it works and what it does, I'd say definitely, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fantastic. All right. Are there any more questions? I can't see any more questions at the moment in the chat box. Looking forward to the report. Yes, indeed. I think then, if there are no more questions, indeed, please pop them down in the chat box, raise your hand, unmute yourself if there are. Otherwise, I think what we can do now is we can move to the whiteboard, and we can all start to work together on some challenges that we have. So I'm just going to share my screen just so that you can see the whiteboard, and then we'll talk through it. One moment. Okay, there you go. Hopefully now you can see the whiteboard that we have. I'm just going to zoom in a bit here so we can see a bit better. And I'm just going to share this link with you in the chat box before we have a little chat. Okay, all right. So thank you so much for this fantastic presentation, Juliet and Tanya. Really great to hear what you're doing. What we're going to do now is we're going to work together on a couple of challenges that we've discussed before that are still remaining. So first of all, this first challenge on matchmaking. Juliet, perhaps can I just ask you a bit about this challenge? You know, we've got this challenge on how can we better connect property owners and builders and promote this project. Can you give us just a couple of words about this, about what the challenge is for you?
Yeah, I can do it. And then Tanya, if you want to add something, because you're the one working with the matchmaking as well. I think from the beginning, actually, the project had a main focus on the producers, so the suppliers. But then a bit further along, we realized, well, we really need the needs owners to see what they need. Mm. So I'd say, like, one challenge is the knowledge, or the lack of knowledge. Not that people don't know, but maybe not all the benefits, and maybe use like some solutions in the wrong way. So I mean, a lot of when we've talked to the owners of buildings, it's very much about counseling and very much about actually it's the maintenance of the nature-based solutions. But it's been really hard to ask them what they need tested, because they don't really want to have anything tested. They want a product that works. So it's that balance between having a test bed and trying out, in some cases, new solutions for somebody who wants a fully working solution. Tanya, would you like to add anything there?
No, I think that's good. It's like you said, it's the knowledge. Many of the times the needs owners, they don't have the knowledge of the green or the green and blue knowledge for the urban environments. They have just business as usual, the same green roof every time, the same, they just take what there is. Yeah. So basically the suppliers that they've seen and that have the best sellers, they reach out. So we need to boost the knowledge within the needs owners so that they can ställa krav,
put demands or put
demands,
requests.
Yeah, exactly, from the suppliers basically, or from the systems and functions they need.
Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
in Barcelona case is the same. We need any more time to recollect of the evolution aspect with the professional technicians and study or revise the elements or solution what's proposed in the catalog of the solution. The catalog for us are not a closed document. It's open, it's live, because year after year we need to introduce in new solutions at time, and taking out obsolete solutions, but within in this direction. And the line of Barcelona strategic line is so strong. I think I answered some question in the chat in this sense. There are more difference in the benefit than the losses for the community. I think we have 16 yards open now, no, but 10 years ago we have open spaces, not climate refuge. Than in these 16 yards, we don't note an increase of mandolins budget for that. I not noticed about that. We note the different needs in this 16. Then the benefit so high if we compare it and the possible increase of the budget. I think it's a political or a human strategic, like us, like that, and then like reduction of the streets, the middle of the streets, the cars in the city, like that. Barcelona have a big line in this direction.
Absolutely, absolutely. So indeed, this is a challenge for many cities. Indeed. So for us here, we in this next section, we're really going to be looking at two challenges. So this that we've just discussed, and also for Malmö, for this project, we're going to look at how it can be upscaled. What should Malmö consider? What are the potential barriers to moving this to upscaling this project? And moving it forward for the next phase. So I've popped the link there for the whiteboard in the chat box. Can you all please click on that link and we will pop over to the whiteboard. You'll magically appear inside the whiteboard. If you double click on the whiteboard, you can add a post-it note. If you remember, please remember to include your city name in the note so that we know who has written what. And I'm going to put 10 minutes on the timer. Let's collectively brainstorm on these challenges and see what experiences you have that you can provide and put down here. So let's collectively brainstorm on this. I'll put 10 minutes on the timer. We have a lovely little timer that turns into a bomb at the end. It's lovely. So I'll put 10 minutes here, and yeah, let's brainstorm for 10 minutes on this. Afterwards, we'll come back together and we'll have a bit of a chat about what's been put down there, what thoughts you have. All right, and I'll leave my screen here. You should be able to see the whiteboard here as well.
I'm sorry, Heather, I can open this link.
It's best if you use Google Chrome.
Okay.
Yeah, don't use like Safari. It doesn't work on Safari for some reason.
Wait a minute. Okay, I think is the screen.
You've accessed, have you? Are you inside the whiteboard?
Yes.
Fantastic. Then if you have any ideas on how to tackle either of those two challenges there, so in terms of promoting the platform and helping building owners understand the needs that they have, and also in terms of perhaps potential barriers or challenges that Malmö could face when upscaling this project. If you have any ideas from Barcelona or any experience from your side, just double click on the whiteboard and you'll get a little post-it note and you can type in the post-it note.
Okay.
So you can write down your thoughts. Indeed, I can see there's still some action going on. I'm going to just put another couple of minutes on the timer so we can just continue with some more thoughts, and then we'll regroup to discuss in a moment. All right, fantastic. We've got some really great ideas coming through here. So hopefully you should be able to still see my screen. And we can just have a little look. Yeah, great. We'll just have a little look at some of the ideas we've got, starting off with the matchmaking here. So a few different ideas in terms of having live events, so pitch and match events. That's come up a couple of times, visit building fairs where all builders can come together to see what's new on the building market, and target builders who were not initially thinking about these solutions. I think that's a great idea. By the way, if anybody would like to jump in particularly and talk about anything that they shared on their screen, please pop it down in the chat box. I'll ask Eugenia to just keep an eye on that, and then just shout out if anybody wants to take the floor and explain a bit more what they're doing in their city. That would be great too. So this live events, pitch and match events, that's fantastic. a little bit difficult now in times of pandemic and lockdown. I don't know if there's a virtual way we can do this. Yeah. Storytelling, storytelling, a great tool to show the real benefits of the platform. Yeah, absolutely. I think maybe, when you're talking before about winter and how the green wall changes in winter, maybe, include within that story all seasons. So like everyone knows like what a healthy green wall should look like, and in winter it should look like this. This is good. So visualizing that. I think linking up with that also, had this idea of showcasing in a public space, in a strategic part of the city. I think you probably already have something along these lines in Malmö, but really using a strategic part in the city that people will see it. So really targeting the public here. But I guess, that also will include building owners and builders themselves as well. But then that links into some of the other comments about involving the public. So again, having information on the wall, the QR code that you mentioned, this plaque, maybe in also we could include some sort of storytelling aspect here involving the culture sector. Could there be some sort of like art exhibition around this to make it really a engaging event with citizens, something along these lines? So I see here that the brochure is another good tool. Perhaps it could be expanded to also include examples of where solutions were developed in the city. I think that's on the way. And again, this workshops, that seems to be one of the key ideas here. And then this living document, indeed. So information is continually being updated. I see Utrecht, Garcia, I see you've mentioned something about tenders here. About making it obligatory for building owners to use nature-based solutions. So, Mama, from Juliette and Tanya, from your side, you had mentioned that you share this booklet when somebody applies to build. Do you also have plans for, or something that you include within the building permit or indeed tenders for bigger projects?
We're not in dialogue directly with those. I mean, because this is from another department within the city, but there are of course, like in detailed plans, you have to have the green space factor and those things, but no, not specifically.
Okay, all right, fantastic. Then, so these are some of the ideas that we have for matchmaking. I mean, I think some of them link to when we're talking about tenders, some of them link to when we move on to, attention, what you should pay attention to when scaling up is this question of involving different administrations. So maybe that links in a bit with this notion of tenders, the people who are putting out the tenders to link it up there. And then again, real dissemination towards the public and keeping the focus on how nature-based solutions increase livelihood or good well-being and good living for the inhabitants. So again, that links to some of the ideas before about this workshop or promotion showcase in a strategic part of the city. We've got a comment here on make a Scandinavian platform to spread the knowledge through the region, connect front runners owners with owners who have some initial fears. Like a match, peer learning almost, like learn from your peers, an expert and a learner in this respect. That's a fantastic idea. All right, you have to consider the cost of management of project. Sometimes we used to build green infrastructure without considering. Indeed, cost is going to be one of the main factors. I'll come to that maybe in a second, because that's one of the final things I think we can talk about in a moment. Sufficient means for monitoring and maintenance. Again, I think that we feed into that in a second. And one final comment here from Utrecht. Had a green wall which totally failed and the supply went bankrupt. The owner is left with a brown dead wall. Not a great advertisement for green walls. So my suggestion would be to be the backup financier if anything goes wrong, and to minimize the risk of experiments. I guess, yeah, this is a balance to make. How much do you experiment, and how much do you, go out on a limb and go with it and see how it works. Okay, all right, there's some good ideas there. I don't know if, I can see there's just one comment here in the chat box. So definitely to show the lesser side of the green walls in winter, really focusing on this visualization. That's a bit more for the public perhaps, but also that feeds into property owners as well. I think so. One other aspect we hadn't talked about, and I'll just leave maybe ask you, Juliet, just to mention this is moving forward. So we've said that you're looking to upscale this project in the future. And one of the challenges is indeed this financing, monitoring and maintenance. So really the business case, the business side of this afterwards. And this is something that you're working on now, and you'd be interested in working with other cities on if they have experience with this, or to have a chat with them. Can you maybe say something? Yeah, I don't know if there's anything to add to that.
No, that was really good, short review. No, we're working. We've had a number of workshops where we've worked with business model canvas and other methods, and so we're trying to find the model for this. I mean, who pays what and when. So definitely we would like to talk to other cities who've done this, because we're also looking at like the core strength and a lot of the value in Blue Green City Lab is the collaboration. It's the parts like that becomes this broad knowledge bank in a way. So it's also keeping that. So we're looking like who of the partners could maybe be the ones who own it more. But definitely we are, as we said, we are modeling as we go along. So we would definitely like to have some input there. And also the project had the limitation of just being in Malmö, but we are definitely looking to expand in a much broader region. So like Greater Copenhagen or yeah. So that's, do you want to add anything, Tanya?
No, that's right, and I've seen some comments about this with a like cost for monitoring. Of course, that has been one of the. I mean, within this project that is partly funded, we've been able to invest in both time and equipment for monitoring and evaluating in a very good sort of scientific way. But that is, of course, something that is difficult to I mean, the needs owners or the building companies, it's especially the housing, you know, the people owning the housing or the people building these constructions, is very, very narrow time span of investment. But the blue-green solutions we're looking into and the multi-beneficial blue-green solutions and ecosystem services are on a long scale. I mean a long time span, and benefits, like you say, the people, the inhabitants of the city. It's not just the owner or the constructor. So that's also something we have to find out. How should we get them to understand? And like Juliette said, like who pays what? How do we get these different I mean, at least in Sweden and in many parts of the world, I know you work in different like segments. It's the blue, it's the ones working with water, the greening of the cities, the buildings, and separate budgets, also from the politicians' point of view, and trying to like match them together and trying to get them to understand the value of helping each other out with the financial parts, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. It's tricky. It's going to be a headache. I think what we can do here is, to say the least, no, indeed. Right. So I can see some people are still inputting on the whiteboard here, which is fantastic. We're coming towards the end of the session. What we'll do is we'll share the presentations and the link to this whiteboard, so we can leave it as a bit of a living document for a while. and see if people continue to input on it with some ideas. Of course, your contact details are at the bottom there. So if any cities are working on this already, they can get in touch with you and have a bit of discussion about how to build this business case and where to go forward from here. Okay, I think we can wrap things up then and say thank you so very, very much. I'll stop sharing my screen for a second there. Thank you so very, very much for your presentations. Really fantastic. Two very different approaches to integrating nature in the built environment, but equally valuable and important. As said before, we'll share all of the presentations and all of the information in the follow-up afterwards. So it just leaves me to say again, thank you to our speakers. Thank you to the participants for actively being engaged and adding in your thoughts into this mural. As I say, we'll leave it open so you can continue to put in your thoughts in the coming days, and leave you to just say enjoy your Thursday evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having us, and thanks for all the input.
Yes.
And Barcelona, very inspiring. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for all. And it's a very interesting project.
Brilliant.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you. Really brilliant. Thank you very much indeed.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.